The problem with optimal fitness and the science-based, purely results-driven trend in exercise and working out is that you forget to pay attention to one of the most important things in good long-term results. If you are just trying to be optimal, maybe you are just trying to maximize hypertrophy in the gym, you forget about doing difficult, suboptimal things and why we should be doing them. You will hear things from the new generation of the optimal lift and science-based lifter bros, like don't go jogging, jogging crushes your testosterone. I've fallen for it myself. I've spoken about how you shouldn't do frequent cold water therapy because it crushes your gains in the gym. That's not why you do it. You go jogging and run long distance and you get in the cold water because it's difficult and this builds mental strength. And ironically, when you look at it this way and you don't forget why we do difficult things, you realize it's not suboptimal. It's perfectly optimal for long-term results because a strong mind creates a strong body. Mental strength pushes you further and sustains you longer. It will help you make progress for significantly longer than those who are just trying to be optimal and get good and immediate results right now. If you are purely driven by the results and you are totally goal-oriented and you do things like sacrifice endurance and other difficult and uncomfortable things that might be suboptimal today but build mental strength for tomorrow that will sustain you long-term, just for physical results right now, you will eventually fail. You might claw back some temporary physical results through obsessing over being optimal, being perfect, but you will never develop the mental infrastructure that can only be achieved through imperfect, suboptimal practices like getting in that cold water, pushing your limits, going for a run further than you've ever gone before, just for the sake of doing something difficult. That's why we do it. That's why we occasionally push our limits. That's why we avoid the siren song of trying to be perfectly optimal. You will never be perfectly optimal, and trying is a distraction. By thinking only of immediate progress, it makes us forget what is necessary to sustain our progress long term. It's no wonder over the years I've seen wave after wave of fitness personality pop up and disappear. They go viral following the optimal fitness trend but eventually fall off. This is because they're quite literally not in it for the long haul. They are not interested in pushing the limits of their physical endurance for the sake of it. They are only interested in what gets the best results right now. You and I must think beyond this. If you follow this page, fitness is probably not a joke to you. It's probably not something that can, be a fleeting temporary interest. You rely on it deeply, not just for the results on the surface, not just for physical health, but your mental well-being, your mental health. Mental health and strength is the point. That's why we do it. And ironically, if we invest in this too, we will get those good physical results, maybe even better, certainly more sustained than those who only invest in short-term progress of the most immediate variety. With the return of spring and bringing endurance exercise back into my program, I've been reminded of why I do this. I'm in the middle of a weight cut, and I'm pushing myself further and going harder with less fuel in my tank, and mentally, I feel like $1,000,000. Like I say, I almost forgot what it's all about. After nearly falling for the optimal lift trend this winter, I took powerlifting seriously for the first time ever, and for the first time ever got seriously optimal, and in the process got soft. I knew something was wrong. I should have known. I've even criticized the optimal fitness craze in the past, but I still forgot why I get in the cold water and why I run and hike for hours. The siren song is alluring. Of course, we all want immediate results and to get the most out of our efforts, but building mental strength through difficult things that are perhaps suboptimal is the best strategy for doing this. We can't forget it, or we too will wander off in pursuit of perfection and fall prey to this trap. Never forget, achieving our goals must be a byproduct of our process and our fitness identity, which must be our primary orientation, and is refined through endurance, experiencing mental breakthroughs by pushing our physical limits. In other words, our process must incorporate doing difficult things for the sake of it. We are aware running a marathon is not very optimal. It is suboptimal for gains in the gym. That's not why we do it. We do it because we are looking long term, and we understand occasionally engaging in suboptimal things, difficult things like building endurance, have inherent value beyond what you can read in a textbook on the scientifically verified and most optimal set and rep range for maximizing hypertrophy. Doing difficult things for the sake of it is where the strength behind our long-term commitment comes from, and this long-term commitment is the one thing that will help us achieve good results long term.